What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka All Fires, and while Marvel Studios is closing in on dropping the Fantastic Four in less than a month in theaters, they're also busy shooting on next year's huge release for Avengers Doomsday. And this past week, not only did we get a brand new trailer and TV spot with tons of new footage from the Fantastic Four, but man, we have been getting a ton of Avengers Doomsday leaks. And this time, in the next round, coming from the exact same source that we covered earlier this week, we have a brand new detailed list of most of the 616 superheroes and their costumes on this big first action set piece, at least according to these latest leaks and based on concept art, again, for Avengers Doomsday. We're breaking it all down, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button, thanks to everyone who's been subbing lately and helped grow the channel, and if you haven't already, I would just kindly invite you to do so. It's the number one thing you can do to support us at the channel, plus it'll earn you for the PS5 giveaways. There's two in the next month, one of which is at the end of next week. Just stick around at the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, real quick before we dive in, this is the normal spoiler warning / disclaimer when we cover this kind of content at the channel. This is coming from the Twitter scoopster James Mac WL, according to his source, who's been providing leaks from on set at Avengers Doomsday, who claims to have had access also to concept art for at least the first act of the film. However, James Mac WL is rather new to the scoop game, so at this point we don't really have a track record to go off. We don't know how much reverence to give these scoops, so take that as you will. According to this latest scoop, we have detailed descriptions for the following characters: Thor, Sam Wilson's Captain America, Captain Marvel, Yelena Belova, Bucky Barnes, Black Panther, Ant-Man, Shang-Chi, Namor, Bruce Banner the Hulk, and M'Baku. Starting with Thor, his costume is said to be a sleeveless black armor with metallic details with 4 golden circles in his chest, along with black pants and golden boots. He also wears a red cape with a hood, similar to the unworthy Thor look we've been talking about here at the channel, and wields a golden hammer. Now this next one's interesting. Apparently, Sam Wilson's Captain America will be wearing a suit similar to the one from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, with the main difference being that his wings will be fully red, but he's been away from that suit for quite some time. He's been using the new suit from Captain America Brave New World, so I'm pretty interested to see why he may have reverted. It's probably a new costume though. And you have to imagine that given they're going to be fighting Doctor Doom and he needs to be as powerful as possible alongside the likes of Captain Marvel and Sentry, that he's at least going to have Wakandan vibranium, if not an upgrade to some of the US adamantium that they just seized in the last film. Captain Marvel is wearing a red sleeveless upper suit, dark blue on the lower torso with gold details on the waists and wrist-like gloves. A golden star is centered on her chest and she's wearing dark blue pants. The other detail is that her hair is very short, similar to the comics Civil War II. And quick side note on Brie Larson's social media, she did share a picture recently with her hair being very short. Not that they don't have wigs in Hollywood, still thought I'd mention it. He then continues by saying that both Bucky and Yelena will appear in the same costumes as they were wearing on the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, which makes sense because that was actually filmed by the Russos on the set of Avengers Doomsday. I assume we're going to get somewhat of a rehashing of that scene, or maybe an extended part after it, so some context for that. Most likely they'll be wearing those costumes, at least in the very, very front of the film, or in the first scene. Maybe they'll change and get upgrades going forward from there, especially after they fight, and then meld with the Avengers that Sam Wilson has. The other detail he included here is that apparently Bucky's hair is very long. Next up is the Black Panther suit, and although he doesn't say it, I assume he's referring to Shuri. He says that the suit is essentially in the same style, but the main difference being that the neck area, there's a silver claw neck piece, the traditional symbol of T'Challa. Also, the details that were in gold in Wakanda Forever are now purple. He then adds that Ant-Man is wearing a red and metallic gray suit. He has a silver helmet with a red visor and antennas. Shang-Chi has a tight red suit with black details on the shoulders, chest, and arms, wearing all 10 rings on his wrist. Now, apparently Namor has had a huge upgrade here. His armor is completely new. It's black armor with scaly texture on the shoulders and arms, leaving his chest exposed. He wears blue pants and is holding a trident. Now, this next description of Bruce Banner is super interesting. Apparently, he's still in his Smart Hulk form, but bigger and stronger, resembling the original Savage Hulk, yet still mixed with parts of Smart Hulk. Jennifer Walter, She-Hulk, is also there. She's appearing in Hulk form, wearing a sporty uniform in purple, black, and white, similar to the one from the series, but the main difference is that it's sleeveless, highlighting her arms. She's also wearing fully purple pants, and she has fingerless gloves, which is an interesting detail. Then they add that M'Baku is wearing an imposing white outfit, covering his entire body with fur and holding his staff. Now, as interesting as some of these details are, obviously this is pretty par for the course. In fact, when I was doing this video, I struggled to think of a time that we saw a superhero in back-to-back or even two major outings and they were wearing the exact same suit. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Usually, that's the whole part of the story. New outing, we get a new look at a character, and they get a suit upgrade. It's been that way pretty much the entire time in Marvel, so not surprising to hear that none of these heroes were going to look the same. However, some of the details that they're talking about are pretty interesting, and of course, in the case of Bruce Banner, Smart Hulk, and now looking bigger and stronger, I'm very curious to see what's been going on there, especially since we know that Avengers Doomsday is going to take place right after Brand New Day, and if all the reports and rumors are true, which it seems like they are, Savage Hulk, not Smart Hulk, Savage Hulk is going to feature as maybe even the villain in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So I'm curious to see how we're going to go from Savage Hulk in Brand New Day going directly into Doomsday, and all of a sudden he'll be back to sort of Smart Hulk form. Maybe the theorists on Reddit are right and that what happened with Sentry in New York might have included Bruce Banner, who had to face his internal darkness, and that's what reverted him to Savage Hulk. But at this point, it is way too early to tell what in the world's going to cause that reversion and then how he's going to get control and get back. I will say this, and from the standpoint of dialogue and including his character in a meaningful team battle, I mean, having a Smart Hulk makes sense because you can communicate with him and he's not a complete wild card. And I know fans want the Savage Hulk back, especially if we're about to get Hulk vs. Wolverine. We don't want it to be Smart Hulk vs. Wolverine. Maybe that's why they've decided to tune him a little bit back towards Savage Hulk so that he's a lot more powerful, and it just makes sense, again, alongside the likes of Captain Marvel and Sentry and all the other power creep that's about to happen if we have characters like the Eternals and any other involved in Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers Doomsday. That doesn't even take into account that we've seen some major powerful beings during the Multiverse saga, like quickly a look at the Living Tribunal and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and Eternity in Thor Love and Thunder. And if they do decide to include characters like that as we're getting into Secret Wars, or even do a character like the Beyonder, I am really curious to see how Marvel Studios is going to handle the power creep and actually have a compelling story. Remember, the Russos are the ones who said that they depowered Hulk because he would have just been too powerful and a fix-all in the story for Avengers Endgame. And to me, you've got way more powerful characters to deal with, like Franklin Richards and Sentry now, so don't cry about the Hulk being too powerful, and don't depower those characters because you don't want them to be a solve-all. Everybody is extremely powerful, including Doctor Doom. I'm really curious to see how they handle this. You guys let me know all your thoughts down below, including your reaction to some of the new looks for these superheroes. I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff. Before I let you go, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. There's one next week for the finale of Ironheart, and then one at the end of the month for Fantastic Four's drop in theaters. We'll also do some ticket giveaways for the Fantastic Four towards the end of the month when we get closer to the movie dropping in theaters. So if you want to be entered to win, or for any of the other future giveaways, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will always be announced at the end of videos live with my voice in the winning comments shown on screen, so please be safe and vigilant across YouTube, and if you should ever get spam, please just report it directly to YouTube. They are very swift about deleting those accounts. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on all platforms with original music under the name Allfires. To those of you checking my music out, thank you very much. To all of you checking this channel out, thank you. I will see you in the next video. Peace.